Hey, what's up, guys? It's another episode of Watch You Strappin. These aren't watch reviews. It's just a quick wristwatch check with a strap pairing just to show the two together, to give some people an idea what particular watch might look like on an aftermarket strap of some sort. Yeah, maybe not the exact same watch and strap combination, but maybe it may be enough to give somebody an idea of what they could possibly do with their own watches. Anyways, I am back on the Sinn. Actually, back on. I still have been on this watch for basically most of the week, if not the whole week. And still into the weekend, Sunday right now. So I guess this might be considered a Sinn Sunday type of deal. But again, I've been wearing this the whole week basically. Really enjoyed this watch. A bit more than I thought I would. I knew I've had a Bundeswehr style of watch from HK Ed. Their last one, I believe, was a version 2 or is it version 3? I forgot what they had, what they were up to. But whatever the last version was that HK Ed did. And then he's kind of like I believe he's out of Hong Kong, and he does he's usually working with the Seagull 1901, ST 1901. I believe it's a ST, right? 1901 manual wind cone wheel chronograph movement. Very affordable usually in most watches, and yeah, that was around. Gosh, it wasn't that expensive really. I'm pretty certain it was under 700, if not around 5 or 6 at most. And it was basically, he had the last run he did of the Bundeswehr watches, really nice. He had several options, and I had one, and I would have kept it, but the only thing that kept me from sticking with it was the unidirectional friction bezel was a bit too loose. And yeah, ultimately I just you know what, I think I'll pass that on. I just couldn't handle it. It just moved way too easily for me. But if you don't wear long sleeves at all, then it might not be as big a deal. But even a short long sleeve t-shirt, nothing even necessarily tight around the wrist, could actually, start to move it. So that's kind of how loose it was to me. But anyways, fast forward until now. God, that was, when did I get that? That was probably at least 2 years ago, probably more closer to 3 by now. I've, Sinn and Revolution have done a collab based off of the Bundeswehr design, and Sinn has been making these. Gosh, if they weren't just servicing them back in the 60s and 70s, they started to make their own around that time, and I think it probably into the 80s, if I know my history correctly. Someone has more information and could be more specific about that, please chime in. More knowledge is more power, right? But that's the basic gist of it. And anyways, these reissues and these special limited editions, really cool. They had the Dark Star before, different handset, more Fotina. I'm pretty sure the bezel looks more ghosted to me, and a couple other details. This is the latest one they released early midish. I guess I would say the first half, at least, of 2024. I know he hinted, what's his name, at Revolution, Way, I think is it Wayco? Yeah, he kind of hinted that they were going to reintroduce another limited edition based off the Bundeswehr design somewhere in mid or early 2023. And so I was kind of expecting this, and then he did do that. And so this is the Bright Star. This is more true to overall the handset, at least, and the overall look is very true to the the original ones that they used to produce back in the days. Just that I don't believe they had an all blacked out version before. I think the bezel was all black basically, but the mid case was basically like a blasted matte silver finish. This is one that's all black PVD coated, if I'm not mistaken, and it is fully tegimented as well. So all pretty much the top works in terms of material and finishing on the outside that Sinn offers. My Sinn U50 SBS is basically the same deal, all fully tegimented and blacked out, but it does have a blue gradient dot, which is nice. And yeah, so just trying to briefly talk about this. Watch, these are really, my Watch You Strappin series are really almost like an extended review. They're just kind of like, time by, whenever I get a chance, I just basically add more thoughts and input into the watches over time that I get. It's an experience review and, or video, however you want to call it. I'm not even sure if you can necessarily should call it a review, although I have been known to do reviews, but it's been quite a while, and I do have some reviews I've recorded lined up. I've just been so busy, I haven't even gotten to dive into the video archives that I've been kind of saving up to just kind of put them together and put something out, which I really should do. But anyways, such is life, and you have so much time. But yeah, so these Watch You Strappin videos could also be considered like extended user experience videos, because that's what they basically are as well. So yeah, just really loving this. All blacked out. Just the funny thing is like I never thought I would be into an all blacked out watch. It's mostly one of the things that I had actually avoided for many years. In fact, I mean, I've delved into it, but then eventually I always sold them because I felt like I need something with silver to match the hardware, and it would just be easier if when I go aftermarket straps, because I have to have the hardware match the case. If they're just silver, I can just more easily readily find that instead of buying a new set. But I did kind of commit to and really enjoyed my first not my first, but the first one I would say that I've really enjoyed and never, and have kept around all this time still is the U50 SBS, was all blacked out, and I did get some special straps specifically for that, with the black hardware and whatever else about the strap that could match the watch. And I guess I'm continuing that with this watch. There is no blue, but it's very monochromatic, as you can see, basically just black and white and some bits of gray. And I don't know what you consider the loom, and I'm glad that the loom does have like a slightly greenish tint to it. It just kind of offsets against the white, and that kind of just makes it more, I don't know, say dynamic, but just more visually interesting. It's not just white and black plain, although I can appreciate a very stark and straight up just two color black and white theme going, which would be cool. But I think a little bit of slight subtle contrast in the coloration of the loom versus the white print is always good. And actually, when I think about it, I think my HK and maybe some of the original Bundeswehr bezels, timing bezels, were actually white essentially. I gotta look back at the old photos, but I'm pretty sure. And so there's higher contrast on that. And you know what? And so I think that's one thing I just noticed after I bought this watch, and I was like, something about this overall look is different and kind of nice. And I think that what it is about it is that the bezel is not actually white printed. It's more toned down. As you look really closely, I don't know if I can capture it exactly. I'm trying to, like, the largest part is that triangle, but the rest of the print on the, including the numerals, are all the same. There is a slight bit of metallicness to it, and this is basically some people thought maybe it was a gilt, but I don't think it's a gilt. It looks like, to me, I'm thinking that it's metallic silver, but like a metallic silver gray, if there is such a thing. Like there's a bit of, it's basically kind of a gray print with a little hint of metallic in it. And I say that the tone of the gray is more on the warm side. It's like a warm gray, because it does have that warmer color versus, sort of it's slightly in the yellow or brownish range, I would say, versus if it was a cool gray, it could be more, I would say, along the lines of something that might have a slightly bluish tint to it, I guess, to a gray, to give it that cooler tone of neutrality. But anyways, the strap, getting to the strap, it is about the strap too. This is, you can see by the buckle, StrapHabit. And yeah, I really do like their FKM rubber straps. And this, I'm reusing or doing double duty on the straps, because this was one of the many straps that I bought for my Sinn 50 SBS. And it works really nice on that, and I figure I'd give it a try on this, and of course it does work. Gives it a different vibe, you know. This is generally like it should be considered like a military pilot chronograph watch, and so most of the time I've been kind of playing on that, making it more subdued, stealthier, more you know, tooly, I guess, and just keep it more a little bit more serious, I guess, is there's a way to describe that aesthetic. But I think this plays it up. It's summer, so I think that works too. Definitely plays off the white and the black of the watch, and I think overall, yeah, I think it looks good. It gives it a more sportier vibe, actually, I would say. Yeah, there's no doubt that there is military pilot chronograph style involved here, but with that white strap, it does make it feel less military, because I don't think they will be sporting a lot of white, bright, you know, high visibility items. It's just, you know, wouldn't be, you know, unless it's something that needs to be for like emergencies or something. But overall, they usually tend to go with like right, low key and darker tones, right? And so, anyways, I just think this is cool and it works. I thought back to some watches that I had in the past, besides my Sinn more recently, but way back, I remember one of my favorite watches was a Vostok Europe. And that's not to be mistaken with the Vostok that most people are associating with those really inexpensive Russian watches. Divers that, you know, they're kind of brutal in the way they're produced, and look, I guess. They're kind of a bit funky. But no, this is different. This is Vostok Europe. If I'm not mistaken, they're not necessarily Russian, but they are like Eastern European. I think that's maybe even what Vostok Europe means. Where are they based? I can't remember, but it's not in Russia. At least the brand isn't. But I remember I had several. I like their watches, actually. They're a little bit large. I was back when I was into larger watches, but I remember there's what they were was called, I think at the time, the Dakar Rally Edition, and it was like blacked out with a. I wonder if the dial was white. I think it was still all blacked out too, but it had like high contrast white hands, and they had tritium tubes, and the crown was at 2, really cool. And it came with a white rubber strap, which I really thought was cool look that paired with it. I think they might have had it, still sold it later, but they removed the Dakar Rally kind of association name with it. And there was nothing marked with Dakar Rally, but it had the black and white colors, and I don't know, for a reason it was marketed as a Dakar Rally special limited edition. I'll see if I can pull a picture of that up sometime. But anyways, so I knew from back then I liked this kind of look, the all blacked out watch with the white strap. It's kind of like, what? Yeah, but it does work. Don't you think? Anyways, that's about it. I'm babbling on. Of course, I'm coaching on 15 minutes as well. But I guess it's better than me trying to do a review that's even longer, because these aren't reviews. They're just wristwatch check with a added seasoning of my user experience into the mix with a particular watch. Anyways, thanks for watching, and have fun and enjoy your watches.